My strawberry plants from Isons have come in. I'm so excited. Aren't they beautiful? I'm going to plant them in my barrels at the end of my house, southern exposed all winter long. And what I can't fit there is going to go into a bed that has pineapples. I have no idea if they are good companion plants, but it's the only place I can think of to put them.
All I have needs, I have not provided.
I planted my wild strawberries about 10 days ago now, and I showed you how to plant strawberry plants. So if you haven't seen that video, go ahead and watch that. But I'll show you again with these domestic variety. And by the way, how are those wild strawberry plants doing? They're actually doing quite well, better than I thought they would. I thought I lost a couple, but like this one, for example, all the leaves were dead, but it's still growing new growth here. Now what I'm going to do is trim back all the dead leaves that are here and clean them up a little bit. That's what they do with the domestic varieties. So I'm going to treat these the same way. I do have some volunteer tomatoes coming up from the compost that I mixed in here. So I'm going to transfer those out of here as well. These are the ones that were real tiny little babies, and I don't think I lost any of those either. But I need the rest of these barrels for my new plants coming in. And so I'm going to empty that one and just crowd them in with the rest of this wild strawberries. I think the reason they do that in the commercial fields around here is just to help prevent the disease that can happen. I don't know. I've never really tried it one way or another. I don't have enough experience to tell you one way works and the other one doesn't. So I'm just going to clip them like the professionals do. See this hole? We have two resident squirrels. I've nicknamed them Bushy Tail and Scrawny Tail. We got to keep those squirrels out of here. So I'm going to show you something that I'm going to do at the end of this video that will keep them out. I'm just stirring up the soil so that the strawberry plants have a new soft bed. Now I did get my plants from Isons, and they enclosed a great instruction sheet about how to plant your new strawberry plants. And they say to plant them about 12 inches apart. But I'm going to cheat a little bit, I think. I'm going to put 5 in each of these barrels. And these barrels are, I guess, about 24 inches across. The plants came in about 3 days ago, and I just couldn't get to them right away. There were no yellow leaves, no dead leaves when I got them, so those are my fault. Isons did a great job of packing them and shipping them. Now this variety is Chandler. Chandler does well in Florida. I have grown Sweet Charlies with okay success in the past. Not real good. So I'm hoping this one will do better. So a lot of your strawberry resources will send them with just the roots exposed without being in the dirt. And that's actually an advantage to leave them in the dirt like this. So Isons has really done a good job of making sure that you have every opportunity to be successful with your berries. And you don't have to tease those apart. You just put them in, and they are going to send roots out where they need to. Now, if some of that soil comes off, that's okay. It's not going to hurt them. When you watched my video about planting the wild berries, those were pretty much bare root. And with those, you have to be really, really, really careful not to bury them too deep. You see, here's the crown right here. And you don't want that to go under the soil. So you don't want to bury it that deep. You only bury it as deep as where this plug soil is. You see here where they've already clipped off the dead leaves? So even Isons does that practice of cutting off the dead leaves. Look at all those roots in there. That's a great start for that plant. This is my bed of pineapple plants. As you can see, it is in the shade. So I don't know how well the berries are going to do here. Will they do all right with pineapple? Will they do all right in the partial shade? This particular area does not get full sunlight until probably 3 o'clock in the afternoon. So this is part of an experiment. We'll see how it goes. I've already pulled back this dried grass to expose some dirt here, and I did amend the soil when I planted these pineapple about 2 months, maybe 3 months ago now. But I do think that if I'm going to be planting the strawberries here, they're going to need some more. You see that? That is from the oak tree that's causing all this shade. So I know the oak roots are all mixed up in here, and they do tend to rob all the nutrients out of the soil. However, the pineapple does just fine alongside. Now this is a mixture of garden soil, some composted soil from the garden, and then I mixed in several different amendments. And this is what I'm going to use to enrich the soil right where the berries are going in. I explained how to mix this up in my video about the wild strawberries from North Carolina, so be sure you watch that. I'm going to just put a little bit in and stir it around into the soil that's already there. And then I'll put the plant in. That's the routine. I have about 26 to do. I live in the winter strawberry capital of the world. At least that's what we claim to be. So why would I go to the trouble to grow my own? Well, first of all, it's not any cheaper that we live here. We pay the same price, maybe even more than what you pay when you get our strawberries and you live in the Midwest. I don't know how that works, but it's the truth. And the other thing is, I see what the commercial growers do. I'm an organic gardener. I don't eat berries that are not organic. I just don't want to go into all the details now, but trust me, I'm not going to eat a strawberry, even if it's on a buffet. I will not eat a strawberry that is not organic. Now, Ison's berries were not organic, but I'm going to finish raising them organically. Maybe they won't do as well as the commercial farmers around here, but at least I know what I'm eating when I eat a strawberry. Now, I did promise you I'd show you what I'm going to do about the squirrels, but first I'm going to water these in. You know that's the drill. Anytime you plant something, you've got to water it in. And these strawberries are going to need a daily watering until you see that they are really good and healthy. And then you just check them. They may only need it a couple times a week, but don't let them dry out. And don't make them soak their feet in water all the time either. Wow, it's been a busy morning for me. I made a bed for the carrots, and then I planted the seeds. And then I finished pulling off the rest of the peanuts off the plants that I picked 3 or 4 days ago. I've planted these strawberries and I've done other chores as well. If you want to see the videos about the carrots and the peanuts, you gotta subscribe. Those are coming up. So when you subscribe, hit that notification bell. I really appreciate it. I hope my videos are helpful. Way back in March, I showed how to get this netting for really cheap at Joann Fabrics. So I hope you go back and watch that video. It's a short, so it's only a minute long. Anyway, I used the netting over tomato plants in the spring, and now I'm reusing it and repurposing it to cover up the strawberry plants. I did another short video about how to put out pinwheels and balloons to keep the squirrels out of your pots. But it's the wrong season for pinwheels. I can't buy anymore. And the balloons deflated after a day. So this is my way of keeping the squirrels out, but it's also going to keep moths and butterflies from going in there and laying their eggs, which turn into caterpillars, which end up eating the plants. And there is a specific kind of caterpillar that I caught in these barrels years ago. It was a really weird one. It lived during the day down in the dirt and would come out at night and eat my berries. I only caught one of them, but there was lots more in there. So I don't even want to give that moth or butterfly a chance to get in there and lay its eggs. So this netting barely interferes with the amount of sunlight that the plants are going to get. And so I've got some elastic and I'm going to cut pieces and attempt to tie them around. If you saw my video where I show you how to plant Brussels sprouts and salad greens and tomatoes, and I tried to cover up a plastic with it, it almost became comical. So anyway, I hope I can get a better grip on these barrels than I did my seed tray. I think the elastic will probably need to be replaced at some point, just because it's exposed to the elements, but Walmart carries it pretty cheap. You just got to look for the big package. I think this is going to keep anything from coming up from underneath as well. There. I think that's it. Well, that does it. Thanks for watching. I know your time's valuable, and I really appreciate it. Don't forget to visit my Etsy shops. I have Debbie's Garden Gifts and Debbie's Christian Gifts. Look it up. I think there's some things there that you might like.
Great is thy faithfulness, Lord, unto me.